This is Computer Insider, Canada's award-winning technology report with Bob Pritchard.
This week on Computer Insider, we go hands-on with the latest release of Encarta from Microsoft for a preview look and feel of Windows 95. Later, we'll see Mavis, the latest 3D adventure game. This week on Computer Insider.
Computer Insider is brought to you by AST Computer. You'll like the way we work. And Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products.
Thank you very much for joining us again this week on Computer Insider. A new study suggests that North American and foreign companies lost $8.08 billion last year to worldwide piracy of business software. That's a 14% increase over 1993 estimates. The SBA says a lack of enforcement of intellectual property right laws is the leading factor behind the growing piracy rate. The report says pirated business software ranging from accounting and desktop publishing programs to spreadsheets and email has grown to 125 million units in 1994 from 110 million in 1993. The SBA says the biggest offenders are China, Russia, and Thailand. The U.S., the world's leading producer of business software, suffered the second largest impact of losses after Japan. U.S. companies lost an estimated $1.05 billion in 1994. A drop in the average selling price of U.S.-made software largely accounted for the nearly 50% drop in the estimated revenue losses between 1993 and 1994. The U.S. federally funded network watchdogs at the Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, have issued a public warning about a new weakness that they've discovered in the Internet that could leave more than half of the host computers on the net vulnerable to electronic break-ins. CERT says that you have to keep an eye on the Unix email software to ensure that you don't have any break-ins. We'll keep you apprised on these and other stories right here on Computer Insider.
Computer Insider's Industry Insights has been brought to you by QMS, Seamless Network Printing.
In looking through the reviews of the top-selling software, it's not surprising to find that things like Doom and Wolfenstein are becoming very popular among game players. Why? Well, they use what they call a 3D effect on the screen to give the game extra visual effects and great sound, of course, to make it sound very get-up-and-get-going type of game software. I thought we'd go to a game manufacturer called Micrographix to see just how it is they build these types of games.
Mobus is a very high-end 3D animated game that comes on 3 CDs. It's an adventure game where a person goes through a scenario of saving the world, and there's a tremendous amount of graphics in it and exploring to go through. As you go through the island, you encounter a multitude of mutant monsters and alien type of creatures. You have to pick up objects along the way that will help you achieve what you're trying to do, which again is save the world.
When we started this project, we had to design about 20 different evil characters. One of them was one of the most evil characters in the game. And what we wanted to do was, show the player of this game that this is a different alien. This is something you've never seen before, something evil. We've added the scales, like weird colors, weird shapes. It's sort of like a mix between humans, animals.
In order to get through the game, you have to just go through all the various areas and make sure that you don't pass by a certain area too quickly without recognizing there's a change in the scenery, and always question what's going on and try to understand what you have to pick up in order to achieve the end result of the game, which again is saving the world in some way from potential doom. Doom, Wolfenstein, Wolf 3D, those obviously have a tremendous influence in the types of products that we're developing in other companies, whereby the users obviously have a hunger for 3D type of products, virtual world type of products, and we're trying to achieve that. We believe we have achieved that with Mobus, and obviously that's what other companies are attempting to do at the same time now. When we create a game, we're creating a game to generally the lowest common denominator for a multimedia interactive game, and today our games could run off of most of our games can run on 386 DX machines, but with 4 meg RAM. We are, though, trying to go a little bit higher than that. We suggest that a user has a 486 with 8 meg RAM for our latest game, Mobus. It's highly suggested if you want that to run smoothly. And we, in the future, will be creating games for various different types of platforms and different types of hardware configurations where a person might have a P5, for example. We're considering doing it at a higher level so that they could get full motion, full screen animation as opposed to a choppier motion.
You build the model once. You build them as a separate entity from the entire scene. And you build the scene as a separate entity. Or you build elements that are in the scene, and then you take all those elements and you join all the elements together at a later stage. And then the animation comes in after that. So basically you start with modeling and materials, which are probably 50% of the whole job, and probably the most important part of the job. If you don't have good materials on a scene, the scene just won't look real. And as you can see, Mabuse, I mean, the realism is what we really counted on, and that's what we really looked for. The animation later on, that's just, you know, it's 50% of the work, but it's not as tough of work as putting the materials together in that, because you can buy like keyframes and scenes for motions and different things like that. It's not a real tough thing. Materials, you have to scan in materials. You have to create your own materials. The modeling is fairly difficult as well. There's different processes. You can buy models and start from that. But generally, even if you buy a model, you want to take that model and mold it into what you want. As you can see, we have some pretty unique monsters in the game.
Okay, a lot of our concepts began with very rough pencil or marker renderings of our ideas. And we'll take that idea and go straight to a marker rendering, something like that. From there, we'll go to a digitization. We'll probably scan this in and render it in the computer. So we'll get something like that. At final, we'll get, that's what you'll get for a final.
We'll keep you posted on how Micrographix does with their new game coming out into the marketplace. Speaking about new things in the marketplace, we have our Fax on Demand system all set for you. And don't forget, as well as having available to you the latest computer industry news, we'd like to hear from you to find out what you're doing with your computer. So drop us a note to our fax mailbox. That's the first number you see on the screen. Of course, everything is available via email. Coming up, a rather interesting story about carpal tunnel syndrome. It's where your wrist gets sore because of doing too much typing or mouse operating. We'll be meeting a person who has a very interesting device on Computer Insider.
If you want to attract more business, you've got to work together. We all have our own special visions of where we want to be and how we want to work, wherever we are. At AST, we build computers to meet your worldview with award-winning products, service, and support. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
Today's marketplace demands more information delivered faster than ever before. D-Link helps make that happen. D-Link manufactures network interfaces. D-Link connects computer systems with bridges and routers. D-Link writes network management software. D-Link manufactures computer networking and internetworking products to bring this world closer together. D-Link Corporation. Question: what prints, faxes, scans, and makes perfect copies? Answer: the QMS 2001 plain paper laser knowledge system, the 600 DPI high-performance printer that does it all. Easy to install, the QMS 2001 works with your Windows PC to integrate all of these capabilities into one very affordable, dynamic business system. It's your office in a box. Call 1-800-263-5508 for the dealer nearest you.
Ξέρεις, σκεφτόμουν, αν μπορούσαμε να επεκταθούμε στην παγκόσμια αγορά, θα κολυμπούσαμε στο χρήμα.
Σοβαρέψου ρε Δημητράκη. Και πώς θα τα κάνουμε όλα αυτά?
Θα μπούμε στο IBM Global Network και θα είμαστε σε ένα πρωτοποριακό δίκτυο. Θα μπορείτε να εκτιμήσει και φωνείτε data με την τεχνογνωσία της IBM που τα κάνει όλα να δουλεύουν.
Θα τσιμπήσουμε κάτι για μεσημέρι.
Είσαι για τσίτσι.
Σαν καράβι στο κύριο.